my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today is another trying to fix video, and in this video we're going to be trying to fix this little label printer here. So I paid $7.99 for it. It was up for $9.99. But what happens now on eBay, which is a handy little tip, is let's say if the item's not in demand. Obviously this is not going to work if you're trying to buy a Nintendo Switch or a PlayStation 4, but if it's a kind of rare item that has probably been sat here for months, if you watch the item, then often the next day or the day after you will get a message through from eBay saying, would you like to take a special discount of 20% or 5% or 15% or 50%, and then you can buy it at a cheaper price. So I didn't message this eBayer at all, I just watched the item, and then the next day I got an offer through at $7.99 and I bought it because I thought for £8 it might make an interesting video. So it says here, Dymo 1000 plus label maker, box with charger, display not working. And if you look down here, this is the description. It says, comes with all shown in the photos, takes batteries, display not working but makes a noise and pulls tape through. May be an easy fix. So I've taken it out of the packaging and I've just tested it, and yeah, I typed in a load of gibberish, press print, and it did come out, but nothing's on the display. Now it does come with a charger, but I'm not a charger, a power supply, but I'm a bit unsure whether to use it or not, because if you have a look here, it definitely says Dymo up here, so it looks like it is the one for here, unless it's for a different model. But it says here the output is 9 volts. Can you see there? 9 volts, 750 milliamps. But yet on here, the bottom here says 6 volts, 1 amp. So I mean, I haven't done the sums. Maybe 9 volts at 750 milliamps, it will equal the same as 6 volts at 1 amp. But I'll also have a look here. This is outer positive, middle negative. So I'm a bit unsure about plugging in a 9 volt one into that. So at this moment in time, I've just popped batteries. It's hard to get open. Oh, there you go. I've just popped batteries in the back there. That should just open up nicely. And yeah, that's how I've done my testing. You know what? I just want to see if this is the outer pin positive, because normally it's a centre pin positive. And then I'll have a better idea of whether it is made for this particular one or not. Right, so outer pin, inner pin. 9 volts, yeah, it is outer pin positive. 1 second, there's a big wasp flying around the room. Give me a minute. Right, sorry about that, annoying wasp. Right, so it does look like it is outer pin positive, but it probably is going to be fine, but I'm just going to leave it out just for the time being because I don't want to risk blowing this before I've even done the video on it. So the problem is with the display. So if I turn it on now, you will see that, look up there, can you see that there? You can just about see it when you put it at an angle, but it's not actually making any sense. And if I was to type stuff into it, you can sort of see that the cursor's moving along, but it's not actually doing anything up here. So let's take it apart and let's see if it can be fixed. What I'm wondering is it just maybe a ribbon cable which is not seated properly? This looks like it's quite old. It looks like the next test was at the 707. So we're already looking at something which was tested 14 years ago, C706. So how old was it before then? Not too sure. But still, I thought it might be an interesting one. So let's take it apart and see what's happening on the inside. Looks like we've got some Phillips screws deep down in here. Start by taking out all the batteries. So think about it, 6 batteries is 9 volts, so maybe the power supply is going to be fine. It's just a bit weird how it's labelled up as 6 volts on here. Maybe it can take a wide range. Maybe, for example, it can go from 5 volts all the way up to 12 volts. Oh. Right, there we go, so you have to just lever that to actually open it. Now I can see a ribbon cable in here. But that's feeding the back here, that's something to do with the tape, so it's not that. So I have to actually get further. Oh, this is the ribbon cable here. Oh, it's one that's soldered. Yee. Right, okay. Let's see, can I do this without taking it apart majorly? So the ribbon cable here is annoying, it's actually soldered in. Can you see there's like a kind of bridge going across it with a big solder blob there and there, so it looks like that's just in place by pressure. So maybe I can just do my work kind of balanced like this. So let's undo this one here. And let's see if we can work out what's happening. Can I come up from there? I thought we would leave the screen behind and just take the black bit up. Oh, here we go. There, that's it. Right, so that's just, I presume, to put pressure down. It does look like there's a nice kink on it there, so maybe if I was just to bend it that way, that would put enough pressure on it. Let's just have a little look a bit further into it. See what we got. So this is it here. Oops, it's stuck to that. Right, well the solder joint looks okay at the bottom here. This is just sticky tape. So maybe it's just a pressure thing. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's put that there. Let's leave the tape on there a minute. And I'm going to put this back on and I'm going to put pressure on it and see if it then does anything different. Right, let's type in hello. It's looking a little bit better, but you still can't read anything. So let's take the batteries out, check for, see if it's possible to check for continuity, and maybe try to rub the soldering iron across there, try to melt it a little bit. I'm not really sure what else I can do on this one. Saying that I'm not going to be able to check for continuity there because they go all the way up to here. That's not an option. So I think the only option I've got is to gently rub a soldering iron across here at quite a low heat, or maybe start low and get higher. And I mean, what can I do here? I'm just going to have a close look with my eye lope through the bits there, because some of those here look a little bit discoloured compared to the others. Can you see just at the top here? These ones just look a little bit different than all the others. No, when you look closely, they're actually dots on there. They're supposed to be that side and that side. This all looks absolutely perfect. But it must be something to do with this area here, because when I'm rubbing it, I'm getting it's you know, it's changing the display a tiny bit. Unless, for example, I'm putting interference with my finger here, which is giving false readings. Not really sure what to do on this one. I think I'm going to get a soldering iron and rub it up and down here, see if it makes any difference. Actually, do you know what? Thinking about it, I don't think they are soldered. I think that this is just like conductive paint and it's just stuck down. So maybe the conductive paint's worn away. I can't see any solder on there, so I really don't think that's soldered. Let's zoom right in and try to peel this off. I mean, the bottom line is it's not working. Well, I mean, it is working, you just can't see the display. So even if I was to ruin the display, I'm no worse off than I was before. It just means that you have to make sure what you're typing is correct, so it's still got a use. The reason this would be handy is, you know, for example, if you're an electrician or even audio-visual, when you want to label things up. So for example, if you've, I don't know, run HDMI cables everywhere, and then you want to label up, like, you know, one for the kitchen, one for the back room, living room, etc., then something like this is handy. Obviously you can just write it on the cable, but these are a little bit more long lasting, and also if you're working at customers' houses, something like this would look a little bit more professional than just scribbling it down on the cable. By me peeling that off there, what's going to happen? That's just going to be copper there, isn't it? So that there now, I suppose it's been... I wonder, could I move this along a little bit? Probably not going to be enough slack, is there? That's already pretty tight. Just wondering if I could move it all along a few millimetres. Me putting the iron across that, is that going to make any difference at all? I wonder, do you know what, I suppose it might help melt, maybe, melt what is already there, and it might, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to risk putting a soldering iron across it, but that might completely melt it away, or try to peel it, but by peeling it, it looks like it's peeling off the layer there, because it's definitely leaving something behind. Let me see how conductive that is there. Just got my meter set to continuity. Right, so obviously this is going to be conductive. Yeah. Now let's see if this is conductive. No, let me see if I'm getting any ohm reading on it. Yes, I am. .8 kiloohms. Right, decision time. I think I'm going to peel. I'm going to have to undo those 2 screws just to get the stickiness off the back, because there's going to be another bit of sellotape on the back holding it in place. There we go. Right, so remember it's the dark side we want, isn't it? Not the white side. So now what's happening here? So let me just see if these little bits left behind are conductive. Right, so we've got it when we're on the copper near enough a direct short, but when we go there, yeah, if I go very hard, I go through it. Well, I'm going to clean that up, and then we'll have a look here and see if there's anything we can do on this bit here. I'm just going to use some isopropyl alcohol and a little cotton bud, Q-tip there. Oops, that was too much. Let's try and clean this up here. Thinking now I'm not going to be able to repair this because it's well, unless I was to, it's just going to be so much work, unless I was to somehow be able to scrape it back to get to the trace on the inside and then use some conductive ink to get each one. But they're so close together, it's going to be really hard. Unless of course it's something feeding it that's not feeding it the right signal, but looking at that there, it does look like it's an LCD problem, doesn't it? Unless the actual LCD itself has failed, or it could be this top layer here, because it's the same thing on this glass. There's loads of little traces going down onto here, and this is just stuck down onto it. But this is going to be even harder to do than that side there. Annoyingly, both sides look perfect, or did look perfect. There you go, this is labelled up 2000, 10th of August 2000. So it's got a lot of age to it now anyway. That's that there. Now, let's just see what we've got going on here. I'm just going to zoom in closer. See, lots of these are completely missing now. I wonder how I would expose more of it. I need to get onto the bits up here, you see. Let me try putting a bit of IPA on it and see if it eats any of it away. Can't actually tell what that's doing. But it's not coming off easily, that's for sure. I've got a feeling if I do that, I'm going to rub so hard, I'm just going to end up taking away all the ink. Now, what is this made of? Is it tiny little bits of foil, or is it just painted on? See, they look kind of intact when they're like that, but when you look through the light, can you see most of them are see-through? You see my finger through that one? They're not going to make the contact now. I'd really like it if I could just get another fresh layer, because then I've got good contacts to go on, because I only need to have a tiny bit touching here for it to make the contact. I think what I'm going to try is, because some of these have very little ink left on them, I think I am just going to take one at the edge and I'm just going to gently scrape it just to see if it uncovers anything underneath. Right, well that has definitely taken off the glue there, hasn't it, on those two? Right, so let's get an ohms reading on that, and rather than zooming out so I can see what I'm doing, I'm just going to tell you what it says. So that's on there, and that's on here. Yeah, I'm getting something. 0.27 kiloohms, that's 270 ohms, isn't it? Let's do the same here. Not sure if there's a break there or not. Right, that is, see, that's showing 51 kiloohms, so maybe that needs to be here and here. Yeah, 2 kiloohms. Right, okay, well, look, it's definitely making some sort of contact, so I'm going to do that for all of them going across. And I'm just going to, I'm just doing a tiny little bit just there and there, because I only need a little bit to make contact. Actually, if I do this and then go over it with IPA, that should get rid of the glue, shouldn't it? I think these are actually little bits of foil or something. I don't believe these are painted on. These do feel like, when I'm scraping them, they look like they're scraping like little bits of metal. After I did the ET book, I was told about a copper tape that's got conductivity on both sides, because normally with the copper tape it's just conductive on one side. And I bought some, and yeah, the glue side isn't as conductive obviously as the copper side, but it is still conductive. So in theory you could put that here. The problem is, if you look at this blade here, or look at my finger and look how small these are, it'll be very hard to cut strips off the copper foil that small. I've scraped all then. Now I'm going to get the IPA and I'm just going to rub it across here. Hopefully that will get rid of some of the glue. No, it's dissolving. That's now dissolved the actual right, let's try that quickly. That's dissolved the actual tracks themselves. Now, have I just ruined that or not? I'm not sure. Is it just, I think it's just spreading the glue around the place. Right, well, IPA is not an option anyway, because I think what it might do is it might just move these tracks all around the place if these are kind of glued down. Right, I'm going to try to get the blade and just try to shove it all to one side. I think I'm going to struggle with this glue. So what I'm going to do is the bottom section is not very good anyway, so I'm going to just cut off maybe 1 or 2 millimeters from here. Right, let's zoom in again. What I'm thinking is these big bits of glue everywhere are going to stop them from making the contact. Well, you know what, I'm going to pop it on and I'm going to see what it looks like now. Yes, it looks a complete mess here, but there's definitely metal exposed now. Problem is, I've got also a load of glue exposed on it as well. I'm just going to get my head down real close, make sure that each of these are lining up correctly. That's kind of in the right place. The problem is, there's not going to be enough pressure on it to make it stick down, is there? Let's try putting a bit of Captain tape on that side as well. Let's see if that's going to make any difference at all. Just turn it on. It's not too bad, it's just how am I going to keep the pressure on it. There you go, look at that. Oh, has it gone? Maybe I've turned it off. Yeah, that's pretty good. Aye. Right, so, okay, definitely know that that is the problem. I think we've proved that. I now need to work out how I'm going to apply pressure to this. So let's put this one back in its place. Maybe I can use some double-sided sticky tape or something like that. Also, I think we need to sellotape this up a little bit better. So let's put another couple of rows across here. And I suppose we should, let's just pop the batteries out just for the moment. So I don't think that's going to go anywhere like that. So now let's pop this back in here. So is there any way I can put pressure on that? I suppose I could put layers of double-sided tape on here, which will put pressure against there. So I've got this cheap foam double-sided tape here. So I'm just going to cut some strips here. I'm thinking though after time it would just compress, and then even if I get it working today, I don't think it's going to be a lasting repair. I suppose when they're making these ribbon cables, they must be made with adhesive on them, and then it's probably just a case of heating them up. Putting them on and maybe heating them up, and then it all sits into place. Or maybe not even heating it up, if it's all just double-sided, I suppose it just works. But I can't get that back now, because if I put double-sided tape on it, it's not going to conduct through it. Do you know what I'm thinking now after I've done this? I'm thinking it would have been best if I put a hard bit of plastic on it first, then put all this on top, because I've got a feeling that this is still just going to deform. But if the plastic was there, then this probably would be enough to keep pressure on it. But we'll see. Maybe I can ease it up and put some plastic in there. Actually, do you know what? I might as well leave that top one on, because I don't need to stick to this, do I? I wonder if that's going to be enough. Yeah, I can feel it. Yeah, I can feel it like that. Right, that's it's not screwed in yet. Let's just see if that's going to make a difference. Yes, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Do you know what? I think the screen has gone down a bit because I can't see the end of the P's. Let's delete. No, where's delete on here? CD. Oh, that's much better. But it's missing. It's missing the end of the letters. Let's do some caps. I mean, it's much, much, much better. I wonder if I go harder, is it going to do it? Yes, look. There it is. Right, okay. Quit while I'm ahead. Let's get this screwed back together. So now, is that going to be okay on the inside? I think it is. I don't think I need any more layers on it. I suppose if it starts to fail, you can just put another layer in there, and that's going to then put the pressure back on it again. Right, here we go. Look at that! Perfect! Right, let's delete that. So I've got caps lock on at the moment. So, hello. Why won't you print? Oh, surely I didn't cover up the... Do you reckon I covered up the thing with it? Oh, maybe you need to have that through there. No, well, it definitely printed earlier. So, I wonder if I covered up that button with tape without realising it. Okay, let's take it apart again. Yes, I've covered over that bit. Brilliant. Woo! I was worried there that I might have done something to the ribbon cable at the back. I just covered over the print button. There we go, let's cut that away. Right, here we go. That's there. Doing something. Oh, it's here. It's coming. It's coming. Thought it'd be quicker. There we go. Let's give it a cut. Ah, lovely. Lovely job. There you go. Excellent. Well, I'm well happy with that. Yeah, look at that. It's completely nice and clear now. So let's delete that completely and turn it off and then back on again. Yeah, and it's ready to go. So yeah, I'm very, very, very happy with that little fix there. Now, the cutting off it, I remember where I've seen that before. That was on a Gadget UK video. I can't remember which one it was. I think it might have been, was it a keyboard fix or something, where he trimmed down the ribbon cable because it was the same sort of problem where the contacts, I think, were worn away. So then by just taking a millimetre off it, the ribbon cable pushed further into the connection. so then the you know, it was a millimetre higher back onto fresh copper. I think it was Gadget UK 164, not 100% sure. If he watches this, he can always chip in and link to his video that he did that fix in. But there you go. So what a nice little fix. I actually think that that is going to be a permanent fix. I presume after years and years, maybe this foam tape here will kind of relax, and then it will take the pressure off that, and then it may fail again. But I'm intending to keep this, so I can always just put another bit of tape in there. Or maybe, because you've seen how much it's pushing it out there, you can see even now it's kind of pushing it out. Maybe it's going to flatten off that ribbon cable, so even then when it does go weak, I wonder whether it would still be nice and flat to keep on working. But yeah, that is it. Right, so I'm going to end the video there. Let me just write something here. There we go, that says it all. I've just realised I've made a spelling mistake. I before E except after C. Oh, I'm so sorry. Right, well that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Take care. Bye now.